Hello, my friends. And unfortunately, there is some sad news today. So, despite the decrease in activity, the Russians have managed to advance and gain in two directions. So, let's start with an overview of the situation on the front line. So, in the Kharkiv direction, near Vovchansk, the Russians have made to capture part of the city, and they have brought in new reserves and made a breakthrough literally within the day. So this is because just yesterday the Ukrainian forces announced the evacuation from the city and showed videos of their presence in the city, and today the entire territory up to the river has come under Russian control. So their advance amounted to 2 kilometers and 200 meters. But unfortunately, that's not all. In the area of the villages of Zaporizhzhia and Buhrovatka, so the Russians also managed to advance and capture two of these villages at once. Thus, their advance here amounted to another 2 kilometers and 300 meters, and the fighting in this area continues. So, moreover, the shelling, as before, is extremely intense. Further west, the Ukrainian forces continue counterattacks to prevent the Russians from advancing to the settlement of Liptsi. So battles are raging there and they are fierce. And the Russians are also launching attacks, so making the situation challenging. And battles are also reported in the fields near the village of Neskuchne. So it's evident that the Russians have brought in reserves and are again beginning to assault the positions of the Ukrainian forces. So in total, 10 assaults have been recorded on the Kharkiv direction within the day. In the Kupiansk direction, so the Russians conducted 9 assaults within the day. So the activity here is also significant, and they attempt to advance in the area of Sinkivka. So yesterday, the Ukrainian forces conducted counterattacks, and today we see that the Russians are assaulting the village again. So the situation remains dynamic, but there are no significant changes on the front line. In the Svatov area, the Russians have ceased attacks and there have been no new attempts to break through within the day. So in the Crimea area, battles continue near Torsk. So it's reported that 7 assaults were recorded within the day. However, the Russians have had no success here and the front line remains unchanged. In the Siversk direction, so the occupiers are not launching new attacks, but there have been shelling incidents with Grad rockets on Bilohorivka. So there is a possibility that they will resume assaults in the near future, but for now they are likely reinforcing their positions. In the direction of Chasiv Yar, 14 assaults were recorded within the day, and battles are taking place near Ivanivsk and Kalinivka. So attacks towards the Novy microdistrict haven't ceased, and periodic assaults on Klishchiivka are also reported. However, the Ukrainian forces are doing everything possible to maintain defense, and the front line hasn't changed within the day. So it's evident that they are not sparing any effort, and each assault proves futile for the Russians. So this indicates their losses are high, yet the assaults persist, suggesting their reserves are not depleted and their military industry is operating at full capacity. In the direction of Pokrovsk, so the Russians conducted 23 assaults within the day, and the main battles continue around Novoalexandrivka, but they are prevented from reaching the highway by the Ukrainian forces, and all attacks are repelled. And similarly, the Russians persist in attempting to advance towards Novogrodivka, and battles are ongoing for Yevgenivka. So for Yevgenivka, also Sokil, Novopokrovsk, Novoselivka Persha, and Umansk and Netailova. So, however, the front line hasn't changed within the day. The Ukrainian forces continue to decimate the occupiers and the situation seems to have stabilized. So, however, This doesn't guarantee that the Russians won't break through here tomorrow, or in a week. So if they reinforce with new reserves and initiate more powerful assaults despite their losses, changes along the front line may occur again. But for today, they have no success. And additionally, Ukrainian forces continue to shoot down Russian aircraft. So Ukrainian military shot down a Russian Su-25 over Donetsk, according to the Facebook page of the 110th Brigade. Today, it remains as smoldering in one of Donetsk landfills. Our sky will become hell for the occupant pilots. Our brigade's number will be their nightmare. This is reportedly the fourth aircraft down since the beginning of the May. Cool. In the direction of Kharkiv. So the occupiers conducted 10 assaults within the day, and they reinforced their troops, and street battles resumed in Krasnohorivka. So attacks on Paraskoviivka and the village of Kostantinivka also continue, but the front line hasn't changed within the day. In the direction of Vuhledar. So the occupiers are attempting to break through near the village of Vadiane. But the Ukrainian forces are breaking up all their groupings near the highway in the fields, so there are no new successes for the Russians. And periodic attacks also occur on Staromayorsk, but there have been no changes along the front line here either. In the Zaporizhzhia direction. So the capture of Robotyne by the Russians was confirmed today. And this means that the Russian advance in this section of the front amounts to 3 kilometers and 400 meters. So the territory surrounding the city has also fallen under their control. And now we see that the liberated territory has significantly decreased during the counteroffensive by the Ukrainian forces. So Robotyne was the main populated area that was liberated at that time. And now the only liberated territory is fields and the village of Bilohirya. So unfortunately, despite the fact that it took the Russians a lot of time, they still partially regained the lost territory. And in addition, reinforcement of the defense line here continues. So the occupiers continue to build new defensive positions and strengthen the old ones. Therefore, breaking through their defense again will be very much challenging. In the direction of Kherson, so the Russians conducted 4 assaults on the village of Krinky within the day, but as before, the situation remains unchanged. The Ukrainian forces repelled them and the front line remains stable. And meanwhile, Zelensky said that despite China actively aiding Russia and effectively supporting them in the war against Ukraine, in a conversation with Xi Jinping, they support the territorial integrity of Ukraine. So we spoke with the Chinese leader on the phone and we raised the issue of territorial integrity sovereignty. He assured me that this is not discussed there and they certainly support our territorial integrity. See, they support, but now they will act, we will see. At least I would like to see that's why I would like to involve China in the peace summit. And perhaps that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.